Okay, we should be back. We had some technical difficulties where you couldn't hear me or anything like that. What we've been highlighting, I'll probably go back to something else here soon, but what we've been highlighting is violence last night with Antifa. I'm sorry, Black Lives Matter and Antifa, as well as election fraud that's actually happening. And again, for those of you that were watching earlier, I apologize. For some reason the sound wasn't working, so we've kind of squared that away. Right on, Caden. So I'm going to go ahead, since this is a new video, I'm going to show it a third time. It's important that you pay attention to this. This is Black Lives Matter in New York last night, where they stabbed two people. One of them, I don't know who the guy is, but the lady is the one that you may have read or heard about, where she paints over the Black Lives Matter mural that's out in front of the Trump Tower. She's been arrested a couple of times, I guess, for doing it, but regardless, they both end up getting stabbed by Black Lives Matter. Hopefully you can hear what's going on. So he just got stabbed in the neck. They have no idea how bad it is. She was actually trying to get him to continue to help people. She was stabbed in the kidney area right here. Very bad. If you look over here, you'll see blood on the ground from the guy who got stabbed in the neck. Right here and here. I mean, this guy has no idea how bad he's hurt. None of them do, which is sad. And of course, this guy decides to go all lone wolf.
Hey, Jeremy, get back over here. Jeremy, don't go over there by yourself. Jeremy, no. Shit, you guys. Okay, we just got jumped by Black Lives Matter, and they just stabbed over the video.
And you got to pay attention to how hurt this dude is. How hurt this guy is in his neck.
Where is it?
Why do we need to keep them alive? Why is CNN authoritative? Why are they considered authoritative at all? They offer nothing. This is really what's funny to me.
Maybe they can get some DNA off of that. Not likely, though. Unless it's somebody else's. Yeah, this dude's like bleeding like a sieve.
Oh my God, you've got tons of blood coming in.
Yeah, you have tons of blood coming at you, and it's very frothy, full of oxygen, whatever. I mean, this guy's legitimately in trouble. They need to get him to a hospital.
You're not. Okay, hey, come over here. Follow me. Follow me. Hey, we need an ambulance. He's bleeding from his neck, like right now.
How has CNN existed this long? Is it just because people assumed they were talking the truth about it?
Great sense of urgency right now. Anyway, what this is all about is I've been watching Crowder's live stream pretty much most of the day, and he's the only person reporting right now on, I mean, literally anything that's going on regarding fraud. Let me show you. This is what it started out as. Hold on. What's going on here? Yeah, just watch this here. Let me make sure I got sound and stuff turned down on this other one so you can hear it clearly. This is what was going on, and I'll elaborate after the fact. Caden, can you hear this? Can you hear that video all right?
Can I show the video and the pictures that you sent us right now, and then you can verify more context or witnesses after, because I don't want to do anything incorrect or in the wrong sequence.
Can you hear that video though? Is that okay? Okay, good to go.
Some attorneys who have been monitoring
All right, and so that all happened. I mean, the guy showed up, half Asian Bill, or half Asian lawyer Bill. I mean, that's how they his moniker for Louder Crowder. What's supposed to be happening is I'm not sure. Oh, that's right. What's supposed to be happening right now is right. Well, I guess right around now, Joe Biden's supposed to be declaring victory. There was some point where President Trump was going to declare victory in Pennsylvania.
Try and squeeze out this, and they're right on par with CNN. And we could tune into NBC right now. You have Brian Williams.
But if you want to go back, and look at it, I mean, I don't have it recorded or anything like that on here. What ended up happening is in Detroit, Michigan, there were lawyers there that actually videoed and photographed a bunch of people going in and out with. Okay, you could hear me, but not the video. All right, well, anyway, that's what I'm talking about. So, essentially, people were going in and out completely unchecked with suitcases. In the one video I saw, it was a Red Ryder wagon that had a Pelican case in it, but suitcases, coolers, that Pelican case or whatever, and they were going right into the back room where you're not allowed to go, and nobody was checking them or doing anything. Now, I mean, I guess the case could be made that, oh, well, maybe they were bringing them food or whatever. It's highly unlikely. And then the reports were also that once things started getting heated up about this, they started essentially, for lack of a better phrase, boarding up the windows to the point you couldn't see inside. And now I guess since CNN has shown up, they've taken some of that stuff down. They've let CNN in, but nobody else. So if we take a look at the election, and go all the way back to last night, and through the night, if you will, and early morning hours, you had multiple states, Virginia included, that said that they were done counting for the evening, okay? Which, in my mind, I don't see how you have the right to do that, especially since the Constitution says election day, okay? But regardless, they told people those things. And then for those of us that stuck around paying attention, maybe from experience or what have you, they started counting again. Okay? You've got what appears to be pretty rampant voter fraud. You got what we're dubbing Sharpiegate now, where you've got multiple states that are, they were handing people Sharpies to use on their ballots. And while Facebook is trying to say, oh, it's completely, false, the ballot machines will still read them. That's clearly not the case, okay? And there was clearly a reason that these particular places that we knew were going to be problem children to begin with are seem to be the only ones doing this, okay? Also, you have where polling places were not allowing poll watchers to go in because they didn't want them watching what they were doing, okay? You've got... If you take a look at, let me see if I can pull it up here. Let me see here. Give me 1 second. If we take a look at Decision Desk, for instance, because you can't trust CNN and all these other idiots, it's just not even worth it anymore. And I'm gonna have to. I'll have to cover myself up here for a second. Actually, why is that a separate window? I don't know. Okay, here we go. Alright, if you take a look at this from last night, in Virginia, you see those numbers right now, okay? In Virginia, where it's showing the high number for Joe Biden and the low number for Donald Trump, those numbers were completely flipped, all right? Now, I'm not saying that more votes didn't come in and blah, blah, blah. What I'm trying to point out here is at 11 p.m., now mind you, from 7 p.m. when the polls closed, they had already called Virginia for Biden, hands down, okay? They had already done that. By 11 p.m., or I'm sorry, that whole 4 hours, what made no sense was Joe Biden had the check mark, but Donald Trump had more votes by a lot. basically the same margin that you see here. But at 11 p.m., without the values changing, the numbers flipped to Biden, and then, the high number to Biden and the low number to Donald Trump. I watched it happen with my own eyes. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. Okay? You're going to tell me that for 4 hours, every mainstream media outlet out there, every person out there had no clue that this was wrong. No, there's no way. There's no way. Okay? You take a look at, what's going on here in Michigan. We're pretty tight right now. And Donald Trump is, if you haven't heard, his call for a recount in Wisconsin. He needs to call it for Wisconsin, Detroit, Virginia. They haven't changed it here on Decision Desk, but apparently Arizona is no longer being called for Biden specifically. Nevada's not counting any more votes today. They just took the day off, so let's just do that. I guess that's a good thing. That inspires confidence in the voting, deal. I mean, especially when you've got people like Detroit and, Pennsylvania and everywhere else saying, oh, we're done counting for the night, and then you keep counting. Well, we're done for the day. Well, what's happening in a 24-hour time period? Do I sound like a conspiracy theorist? Sure I do. But I mean, seriously, this is absolutely out of control. Absolutely out of control. It makes no sense in the world whatsoever for this stuff to be happening. For those of you that are still on, I'm going to try to see if we can get this video working since Biden's on. Tell me if you can hear the video.
And now, after a long night of counting, it's clear that we're winning enough states to reach 270 electoral votes needed to win the presidency. I'm not here to declare that we've won.
Except you just did.
I
think you did.
When the count is finished, we believe we will be the winners.
Tell us why.
Oh, of course it freezes.
Oh man, here we go. Over. So while we're here, I just couldn't help but think that this was just reading a bunch of platitudes. Vague. Some of these. Can we run that speech at some point?
A substantially better margin than President Trump won Michigan in 2016. Michigan will complete its vote soon, maybe as early as the day. And I feel very good about Pennsylvania. Virtually all the remaining ballots to be counted were cast by mail. And we've been winning 78% of the votes by mail in Pennsylvania.
That's why they wanted mail.
Well, that's amazing.
Arizona and the 2nd District of Nebraska.
I do like this
Of
phrase.
special significance to me
The people rule.
is that we won with the majority of the American people. And every indication is that the
About
majority
that.
will grow. With a popular vote lead of nearly 3 million votes. And every indication is that will grow as well. Indeed, Senator Harris and I are on track to win more votes than any ticket in the history of this country
Okay.
that ever won the presidency and vice presidency. Over 70 million votes. I'm very proud of our campaign. Only 3 presidential campaigns in the past have defeated an incumbent president. When it's finished, God willing, we'll be the 4th. This is a major achievement. This is a major achievement.
So I'm curious.
And it's been a long and difficult
We're going to
campaign.
need to make sure, Reg, maybe take a look at where
But it's been
has the
a
stock
more
market
difficult
been today as
time
we've seen some of this
for
back
our
and
country.
forth.
A hard time.
It looks like it's up right
We've
now.
had
And
hard
especially
campaigns before.
Last night.
Is that
We
better?
faced hard times before. So once this election is
pretty interesting
finalized
statement about
and behind us, it'll be time for us
economy.
to do what we've always done as Americans. To put the harsh rhetoric
I thought he was
of the
going to say
campaign
eat
behind
burgers.
us.
I keep
To
waiting
lower
for
the
his teeth
temperature.
to fall out.
To see each other again. To listen to one
Can you hear
another.
that video better?
To hear each other again.
Awesome. Yeah, I was
Respect and
trying to
care
figure out some settings.
for
All right, well,
one
I'm not going to bore you guys to death with this idiot. So, but I want to point something out here is, okay, he just made it, with mail-in voting. Yeah, exactly. That was their strategy to begin with, just like in Wisconsin. What was it? About almost 130,000 votes that were brought in, and supposedly 100% of them went to Biden. Not to mention they were already saying that they were going to Biden. That happened in multiple states. So how in the world would you even know that? How can you make those statements if the votes haven't actually been counted? I mean, you know, everybody knows that this, this is just absolute BS. And I mean, I don't have it on here. I have it somewhere else. Actually, I think I have it on my Facebook. Yeah, I do. Hold on. I want to play this for you. I mean, this is exactly who these people are. I mean, they are the scum of the earth. Hold on a second here. Because I posted this last night. Got to refresh here. Let's see. Where is it? Yeah, right here. I want you to listen to this. I mean, listen to this. This is crazy. Alright, why isn't that pausing? I don't know. For some reason, nothing's working at the moment. Oh, Facebook. You gotta love you. You're like the... Okay, now it paused or something. Just delayed, I guess. Stay with me. If you didn't already see this. Can you guys hear that all right? I can't really hear it. Okay. Well, I'm not sure why that's not playing like that. It might be because it's Facebook or whatever. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play it over here, and you can just listen to it, and you'll know exactly what's going on. Let's see here. One second here. Well, for some reason that's not working either. I don't know what. I wonder if it's just the video itself. Let me see. Things happen. Mistakes are made. Holy smokes. Alright. Desktop. Alright, where's these fools? Okay, I think I know what happened. I think in the process of me moving all my stuff around, that's what happened. So, let's see here. Alright. If I didn't have other things to do, I could make this a dedicated YouTube deal, but unfortunately it's just not the way it is. Yeah, the sound's all jacked up. Oh, there we go. There we go. Alright, so listen to this. Here we go.
This is why all the young Turks right now, they're crying.
We're headed the wrong direction. You know,
they're like, oh,
we're heading in the wrong direction.
Well, I'll keep on my theme because it's correct. Democratic incompetence. If I'm running a presidential campaign and I think Pennsylvania is going to be the most critical state, and I know that by far the place where I have the most votes is Philadelphia, and I have the governor is a Democrat, you can't figure out a way to count Philadelphia votes quicker? No, the Democrats always say there's nothing we could do. Well, that's why people don't vote for you, because you're constantly telling them there's nothing that you could do for them. Ever. So
I just want to point out when you say that people won't vote for him, I mean, Democrats have beaten Republicans in every election since 1988. I'm not even arguing your point, because I just always want to remind people that Republicans have won once since 1988, but they keep electing presidents.
Well, I mean, that proves my point.
I said it was an argument.
Yeah. So we won 2 popular votes. We bungled it away. We have a massive edge in demographics. We have a massive edge on policy. We have a massive edge on everything. Yet somehow the Democrats can't find a way to win. They can't actually get into office.
Well, because you got to get in the mud. You got to fight dirty. You got to cheat. There,
right there.
Playing by the
You got to
rules
cheat.
when there are no rules.
Yep.
And the other teams making the rules as they go.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, that's how these folks are. I mean, these people are the scum of the earth. And, I mean, nothing's going to change that, that opinion for me. I mean, it's, you've got to fight. You got to get in the mud. You've got to cheat. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? But you let one conservative say something like that, man, and all hell would break loose. All hell would break loose. And you and I all knew it. Absolutely ridiculous. But anyway, yeah, so we've got a lot of stuff going on. I mean, crazy things. And it's, us sitting here at home, we're sitting here thinking to ourselves, well, what can we do about it? All right. Well, I mean, unfortunately, I don't have the answers for all of that. What I do know is you got to keep your head up one way or the other. I mean, there's just no way to go about that. I mean, any other way to go about that. You got to keep your head up one way or the other. You've got to understand that, this is going to be handled most likely in the courts. One of the things that I've said is that I honestly believe that Trump's still going to win. I think that it will be handled in the courts, and I believe that the left's going to turn right around, and they're going to say the only, it's an invalid election. The only reason that, that Trump, won is because, can you guys still hear me? I don't know if that was a late reply from you, Caden. Anyway, that it's an illegitimate election. That the only reason Trump won is because of Amy Coney Barrett, Gorsuch, and Kavanaugh, and they're going to throw those names out over and over and over because those are the 3 that that President Trump put on, as everybody says, 3 scoops. You know what I mean? And that's how they're going to try to justify it to all of their followers and all these idiots out there. And that's very unfortunate, but it's where we're at. I mean, we are so divided as a nation. I mean, it's not even. I mean, there's no way around it. I mean, it's ridiculous. And I mean, I wish that there was another way. But I mean, until we have some, I don't know, just accountability. I mean. The fact that they can turn around and make, and tell poll watchers, which is exactly what they're for, that they can't come in, that they can board things up, that they, that they can walk in unchecked. I don't care if it was food. There should have been somebody there to stop them and check everything. Okay, that's what should have happened, but it didn't. All right, I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous, and there's almost nothing that we can do about it. It seems like until this stuff is actually challenged in court. Now, again, if you take a look at this, they're not, Arizona is not, and I'm going to blow this up again. Arizona is not, been wiped off the map here for Joe Biden. I'm not even sure that these numbers have updated in a while. And like I said, Nevada is not going to update the rest of the day, which I think is absolute, I mean, that's just nonsense. But Trump's only behind about, about 7,000 votes or so. Virginia, he's got a ways to go, but something's off with all of that, and I hope that he does call for a recount there, especially here in Wisconsin. I mean, he's only about 28,000 down. Wait, is that right? Yeah. And then same thing for this whole Michigan thing. That right there should just immediately be a complete. I mean, it should be a no-brainer on the recount. Pennsylvania. I mean, you had the Attorney General for the state calling out that Trump wasn't going to win before elections even started. That's the guy who's responsible for making sure all of this happens, the way it's supposed to be. If he didn't recuse himself, or if they didn't make him recuse himself, that tells you all you need to know. I mean, just came right out, and bragging about it. We beat Trump in the courts, 6 times, 0-6. I'm not sure exactly what he's talking about because I don't remember those, but maybe he's talking about it on a personal level. I don't know. Excuse me. With Trump's personal dealings, this is what happens when you stay up all night. And then you only get a couple hours sleep and try to get back at it. But there's I'm sorry, I didn't realize that wasn't up. I apologize. There's no way. Apparently there's some shenanigans going on in Pennsylvania right now as well. But there's no way that I see, other than complete, cheating that Biden wins Pennsylvania. But when they're saying that they're going to take the entire week to count all of this stuff, and then again, last night they were the same state that said, okay, well, we're done counting for the night, but then they started counting again after everybody kind of left. This kind of stuff right here is exactly why a lot of folks don't have any faith in in the election system. Now, is it still miles and worlds above what happens in the rest of the world? Absolutely. But we're moving to that. We're moving to that that standard or lack thereof. So again, I think Wisconsin, Virginia, if he loses Pennsylvania, and Michigan, at a minimum, need to be recounted. I don't know what's going on in Georgia and North Carolina, why those haven't been called already. No telling. But I do want to bring your attention to the Senate and the House. These, as important as it is to have the presidency, this one right here, the Senate, if you haven't already figured this out, is really important. This right here, this is what has kept the Democrat House, at bay. Okay. We've only got to get 3 more, and we have the majority. Excuse me. The House, okay, 218. I don't know about this one. I really don't. If we take a look at the Senate, you take a look at this. One of those votes is Daniel Gade right now, if I'm not mistaken, and has not won, but he's not given up. And there's another one, I believe she's in Arizona as well. I forget her name off the top of my head, but they are not conceding, and I don't blame them. They shouldn't. Okay. This one in particular, for the House, that's a lot of space, man. That's a lot of seats. So we've got to, they're saying, essentially that the Republicans gained 4 seats and Democrats lost 4 seats. Well, I guess we'll see what happens. But so far we're not showing anything in the way of a runoff or I mean, we just have the the concessions, if you will. I'm not sure what that noise is, so I apologize. Yeah, I have no idea. But this is not. I mean, all three of these are the big deal. We don't have any. I mean, there's a few governorship ones, but nothing that relates to us. But again, this is where we're at. And the biggest reason I started this live stream today was because of the fraud that is literally happening before our eyes. I mean, I can't believe it. Again, I don't know why there aren't law enforcement tearing the walls down to find out what the heck's going on, because I mean, these people are getting away with this stuff with complete impunity. So, if you don't follow him, Salty Cracker, while he's not great for children all the time or anything like that, because I mean, hell, I'm not all the time either, but he's a lot more lively than I am in some regards. You might want to check his channel out. It's pretty good. I like listening to him. And there's he'll be back on about 8:30 or so tonight Eastern Standard Time. Let's see here. What am I reading here? He didn't know about the. Okay. Yeah, I already know about that. If you're not aware, I'm on like literally about 3 or 4 different things at a time that feed me all this information. So it's not like I'm just pulling it out of thin air. And of course anything that anybody puts up there, I'm gonna check it out. But oh, it's Discord. Hold on a second. What do we got here? Did you hear in Michigan at 4 a.m., 200 or so ballots were dropped off, and they were 100% Biden. I think that's voting fraud, and you can't vote after midnight last night. That's another thing that's out there that that's kind of a point of contention is, in the argument that's being made. The votes aren't supposed to be counted once the voting, or I'm sorry, the polls close, but. I mean, how the heck? I mean, if that's the case, then how do you? How are these states able to continue to count votes? Day after day after day, and I think all of this is by design for us not to know what the hell's going on. I really do. I think it's literally by design. I mean, look at even our local elections, and that was going to bring me to my next point. Is local elections now could not be more important. If Biden takes the presidency, and let's just say the Democrats, took the Senate, which I don't think they're going to do. I highly doubt it. But let's say they take the House, whatever, and they've really got, this power, if you will. What choice or what recourse do we have to be able to stop any of this stuff? Like even in the state here, what do we do? It's our local authorities. Now, you've got plenty of people, they'll probably point the finger at me and say, well, you don't understand how it works. No, I understand how it works because I understood that from when our forefathers made this country. Okay? They didn't sit there and go, oh, man, I wonder what King George is going to think. No, they said, this is the way it's going to be. Damn the torpedoes. And we've got people in every elected office at the local level that do not belong there. Okay? Whether it's, your boards of supervisors, city council, school boards, it doesn't matter. They don't belong there because they only have theirs and special interest groups' interests at heart. Okay? And they love to play, they love that shelter of rules and stuff like that where they don't have to engage with you and your voice can just be that annoying voice that's out there, however they want to paint the narrative after you're done talking, or when you're done talking, then they talk and they get the last word, okay, and you can't retort back, okay, so, and it's all by design. You take a look at our gun rights. You take a look at, hell, man, even voting rights. I wouldn't be surprised if Democrats, if they were to take power and literally try to do what they're saying about, fundamentally changing, the nation, getting rid of the Constitution. Whatever. Well, I mean, dude, if the Constitution's gone, I mean, there goes your voting. I mean, it'll be literally a one-party government, and it won't even really be a party. They'll just tell you what's happening. And as much as they're, involved with the CCP, I mean, I'm telling you, it's a big deal. I mean, this is huge. I mean, these people aren't going to lose their money after they invested in Biden and everybody else. They are scared to death of Trump getting in there. But it's no different than at your local levels when you've got good people that belong in those seats that will look out for folks. Look, I don't care if the person has a college education or has really necessarily any experience in it whatsoever. And a person could argue, oh, well, Scott, my gosh, how could they even hope to, get up there and do any good for anybody? I'm pretty sure they have common sense. I'm pretty sure that they can read. If you have those two basic fundamentals, as a skill set, anyone can learn anything. I mean, hell, look at what our politicians that have been there 30, 40 years, what have they accomplished with all of their supposed knowledge? Zero. Okay? And, in the lives of, the general American. No, it's all bent on, it's all designed for their sole benefit. None of that is in our direction, or falls in our direction. So at the local level, let's just talk about some of the highlighted, things we have to worry about. One, especially in this state, being Second Amendment, huge. Okay, that's huge for us, right? Governor Northam and all those cronies up there want to get rid of our Second Amendment, or our ability to have certain firearms. Hell, obviously, Biden and Harris want to do that, but they're the clear and present danger right now, not Biden and Harris. Okay, regardless of what people say. And this is where I try to, encourage people to vote, locally, because most people, like I've said before, they only do this, once every 4 years. Hell, I'm running into people right now that are 20 years my senior. I think I said this before, that have not, I'm 46 and they've never voted in their life. Well, that's one more vote that went to the Democrats every time. Okay? Anyway, if you have your city council or board of supervisors and, and specifically your sheriff's department and whatnot, there are legal recourses that you can take to keep, this tyranny from happening. The problem is when you have people on these boards and councils that don't have the spine to do anything about it. They only care about their own special interest groups, their relationships with certain folks. And I love the attitude of, oh, well, you're an outsider. Interesting. I'm an outsider in the very country that I fought for almost 30 years. Literally. But no one ever takes that into consideration. Okay? And, to be frank, most veterans never bring it up because we're taught to have quiet pride. We don't want to put that in somebody's face. But it's coming. It's coming. Because when you start trying to dismiss people as if you're better than them, you want to throw out your resume and your experience, that's when you're going to find out just how small how low and on the totem pole you are and how small you are in relation to the world at large. But that's why most people never leave where they are, especially those that get into some type of local politics. That's why they stay in those positions. That's why you even have the phrase the good old boy network. Okay? And that stuff has to end. It has to stop, or you cannot move forward. You can't move forward. You can't even hope to take care of your people. It's not possible. And that's what we're seeing here. I mean, if we take a look at Michigan and what's going on there, excuse me, if we take a look at, what's happening here in Michigan, the fact that they're so brazen that they can just walk in like that, like it's no big deal. The reason they're able to walk in like that is because they know the people and the people know them. It was all designed to begin with. It was all either talked about, rehearsed, coordinated, whatever. Okay, literally just walked right in. I mean, there's no way around it. I really wish. I mean, unfortunately, until he stops his live stream, there's no way to go back and see that video, unless. Actually, wait a minute. I wonder if it's. Let me check on Twitter and see if it's actually on there. It might be. Hold on. Detroit. Wait. Detroit. Voter fraud. Maybe it's trending. I hope it's trending. Unless Twitter's trying to stifle it and everything, like what happened. Is this it? Here. Well, here's. Okay. Geez, there's actually voter fraud going on. Detroit windows being boarded up to make sure you can't see what they are doing, and footage of them bringing new ballots in after they aren't meant to in Michigan last night. No IDing, no security. We can't have a fair election. This is a still from what I saw. This guy was all alone. He had the Red Ryder. You can barely make it out, the two wheels right there, but the video showed it a lot clearer. The Red Ryder wagon with the Pelican case in it. And then, yeah, this is them boarding things up, I guess, so people can't see what's going on. Yep. You know, why would you do that? If you're so transparent, what are you worried about? If you're doing your job right, why? I mean, what's the problem here? You know? What we got here? So this is actual video of them doing it. I mean, look at, all these people. I mean, why are you doing this? I don't know why, again, police officers are not coming in there and going, what the heck are you people doing? Yeah, this is them bringing in the suitcases, if I'm not mistaken. It's kind of, I don't know why it's turned over like that. But these suitcases and everything, actually, I think this is after they brought them in the door. But that where they're going right back there is, is this the one? Trying to turn my head and see this stuff. Here we go. Sometimes I wonder why people video the way they do, but it is what it is. But I believe this is the door that they all went in. So this is the lobby, if I'm not mistaken, that goes into where they're doing all the voting, or all the counting. Let's see here. Okay, nothing really to see there. Maybe this. Aha! This is the video I watched. Let's see here. See if I can make this a little bigger for you guys. It doesn't look like it. Well, anyway, there's not a whole lot to even hear, but this is the guy getting the wagon out and everything. But there's questions to ask yourself. I guess she was trying to hide her phone there. Why would you bring, the question could be asked, why would they be bringing coolers in? You could say food or whatever. Yeah, there's the Pelican case in the wagon, like I said earlier. Not that, why would you be bringing coolers in? And you could say, for food, what have you. But, again, that's not a cooler. That's a Pelican case, okay? I know that the top of that very intimately from... everything I've ever done. You probably can't see it too well here, but there's two ridges here and there's two ridges here. And that's the top of the Pelican case there, and it's meant for grip, and shedding water. But anyway, little nuances. This is what they're doing. At first we thought maybe, when they first brought this out, we thought maybe that they were transporting it elsewhere, which really would have been bad. No, it turns out they're bringing them in. Okay. Now again, the argument can be made because nobody knows what's going on in there. you know, oh, well, they're moving it to this particular area so they can, facilitate counting a little better or faster. But that's, it clearly doesn't look that way. But, here's another thing. Why would that guy be by himself? You know what I mean? Why would he be by himself? So I guess somebody screenshotted what Crowder and them were doing. What is this? Large animated. Conservatives in Detroit are trying to stop poll workers from counting ballots. This is actual voter fraud. Except that it wasn't. Okay? Blatant voter fraud going on in Detroit right now. And let me make this clear. I don't care if you're conservative or liberal or leftist or whatever. You shouldn't be doing that regardless. But I know past this one that it wasn't conservatives. This is just some freaking leftist loony here, you know. And not to mention, I find it Detroit Department of Elections. Well, that ought to tell you everything because conservatives aren't running that. Let's see. Nonsense in Detroit with Trump's goons pushing registered poll watchers out of the room is criminal. Voter intimidation is voter fraud. Agreed. So you've got two conflicting points there, but I have pictures of voter fraud in Detroit. Poll trainees getting instructions on how to throw out voters' votes to not put in tabulated. How can I get a cell phone number to send the text that I have? If you know anyone who lives in Virginia, give them a heads up. Oh, never mind. That's just dumb stuff. But we the people will steal the election and play out voter fraud on a huge scale. Yeah. So anyway, I just wanted to bring some of that stuff up to you. And, let's see. What else do we got going on here? Let's go back. I don't think anything has changed in the election so far. I mean, it sure would be nice to get some updates here. Yeah, nothing so far. But we're getting really close, which is good. But again, I think the biggest problem we're going to have right now is the fact that they're not counting anymore today. Pennsylvania, I'm sure some shenanigans are going to happen to take that away from Trump. And like I said, if you weren't aware, in Wisconsin here, they hold on, let me bring it up. In Wisconsin here, Trump has already said that that they're already asking for a recount, and I believe Wisconsin was where they had about 130,000, almost 130,000 votes that came in overnight, and supposedly 100% of them were for Biden, which makes absolutely no sense. And then you got Michigan, of course, with what's going on there. Now, my understanding is in Michigan, something else. I don't know why it's doing it. Oh, I'm not logged in. In Michigan, there's a county, supposedly a conservative county, that hasn't sent in any data whatsoever. I don't know what they're waiting on. I just no clue. But obviously to most of us, sane Americans, that doesn't look good even for our side, on the right. So that kind of stuff should have been sent in. Arizona, if you're not following this, should be they should be. Well, this should be tighter. I don't know why that's showing that. Let me see here. I haven't trusted